Hey tubes, Jonathan's wrong here. Truth and budget. So, um, let me, as usual, I didn't quite collect my thoughts before I decided to make this, but that's it's when I'm at my best, right? Anyway, um, during the past, oh great, I'm already lagging. 300 or so years, we've been moving away from culture and moving towards nationalism. Within the last 100 or so years, that is gratefully increased, but it started in Europe, a few hundred years ago, where they're like, okay, you're not these, 30 different cultures. You're now Germans. Okay, you're not going to speak all these different languages. You're going to speak this language, and they sort of did that all over Europe, and anyway, blah blah blah. Fast forward to America, and you get the whole melting pot thing. People brought over their cultures. But fast forward to post World War, and especially now, and you'll see that society is very anti-culture. Like we're told all the time that that the past is bad. Your culture is bad, especially if you're white. And then if you're any other race, you have a mythological history. You have this noble savage history. I don't know how else to put it that doesn't sound condescending, but if you're not white, you have a noble savage history, and if you are white, you have the history of a colonizer and nothing else. Um, by the way, this is by today's standards, not by actual reality. So this move towards nationalism is extraordinarily dangerous because you lose your identity of your people. Of me being British, Native American and Irish. I should not separate. I should not. Yeah, they want me to separate. I should not celebrate those things. I'm not supposed to be proud of being British, of being Northumbrian. I'm not supposed to be proud of my heritage of every woman of my past, three bloodlines being Irish. I should ignore all that and be American. Well, what does it mean to be American? Well, apparently nowadays what it means to be American is to just go along with whatever social movement is happening. Whether it be true or false or real or imagined, fabricated, which it is. Um, Now, not only is there a danger in that where you're just going along with whatever the government says, but it's separating us from what we really are, and that is just people. I'm sorry, I'm kind of snotty. I just went outside and I came back in and I'm having that temperature change, nose drip, blah blah blah. Anyway, I one of my few one of my few and only pastimes is I do I have a little like mobile like game that I play, and I talk to people from other countries. I have friends in Middle Eastern countries. I have friends in Russia, Serbia, all over the place. And you'll find when you talk to people from other countries that we're just people. Everyone's just people. And you have our collective governments telling be afraid of Americans. Americans are bad. Americans do this. Americans do that. And Americans here, oh, those people are bad. Those people are bad. The Chinese, the blah 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 blah. No, Chinese people are not bad. Their government is bad, and that's the same everywhere. It's the same in every country. We're told to fear these people. Well, except if they're immigrants, then they, come on in. But like, we're told to be afraid of all these people, but it's not the people, it's the regime, it's their government. What we should be, what we should be concerned with is other governments. Our government, our enemy is the governments. What the government is supposed to do is, they're basically the landlord. Their job is to make sure the water's running, make sure the streets are drivable, you know, Make sure the power is on. That's their job. That's all they should be doing. They should not be governing our day-to-day lives, giving us arbitrary rules to live by that are just rules. I mean, we need rules to be part of a society, but we don't need where we are now, where we have privileges. We used to have inalienable rights as human beings. We don't have that anymore because we're supposed to not be human beings. We're supposed to be part of the system. And as we get further into that, we already have human 2.0. That's a thing that already exists, and that's what we're moving towards. And the new human will not have a cultural identity. The new human will have a clique. They'll have a group that they hang out with, but it's all going to be skin deep. Not even skin deep. You can't even say skin deep. It'll be just extremely very shallow, superficial. And that's where we're at, where we have these tentative connections with people that are meaningless. You gotta, if all you're basing your collectiveness on is we agree on this one topic, once you no longer agree on that one topic, it will be chaos. Like those communist groups that can never get anything done because they're all disagreeing on their own personal, like, well, I think, and they can't come to an agreement, and they never will because they can't think outside of themselves. I don't know if I'm explaining all this well enough, but anyway, the 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 danger in this is obvious. I mean, the fact is that you should know your heritage, and you should carry that with you, for good or bad. If your people did things that are bad, and the fact is that everyone's people did some things that weren't great. You know, it's it's in every culture. No culture is perfect. No culture has done everything perfectly. We're not perfect. Only God is perfect, and we're just here. We're just here living it, and God uses everybody, and none of us are perfect. But people are people. We're all just people. And at the end of the day, no one, most people, some people are sickos, but most people just want to live their lives, not bother anyone else, and not be bothered. You know, there's not, 1 billion Chinese ready to come over to America and kill all of us. No way. That's not true. Most Chinese just want to, I I said this to my dad the other day about the whole, how things are breaking down in China. And the fact is that Chinese people have been Chinese for thousands of years. They've been communist for like what, 70? You know? Like they can't undo that. They're trying to undo all these things that have existed, that have been part of culture, been part of us for, some of us for thousands of years. And they want you to forget that. They don't want you to have a culture, because as soon as you have a culture, you realize, hey, we're not all that different. Like, wait a minute, every culture has like a, right off the bat has a style of wrestling. You can go in every single culture, be it, Native American, British, mainland Europe, Oriental, Far East. There's every single one of us has a somewhat similar grappling style where we start standing and try to throw the other one to the ground. That's universal. We all do similar styles of that. Be it the Mongolian, to judo, to sumo, to catch, to a freestyle, or a traditional British wrestling. It's African, like I said, Native American. It's like we all wrestle. That's just one thing. But it's just we all, like, we're all, if you get down to brass tacks, we're all made in the image of God. We're all his children. Only Jesus is his direct child, but we're all part of the same family. And you know, back to Jesus, he's for all of us. If you're a Philistine, if you're descended directly from the line of David, Jesus is for everybody. And that's wonderful. And this whole, just going along with what your government does and listening to what your government does, there's no culture in that. What is important right this second is not going to be important, 10 years from now, et cetera, et cetera. Fads come and go, but your culture, what you've been doing, you should maintain that. And that's important, I think, which is why they're removing it, and they want everyone to think that, we all hate each other, and like we don't. When you actually talk to people, you'll immediately understand that we're just people. We might have, like I said, we might eat different foods, we might do different things on a Saturday, but we're all people. I don't know. I don't know if any of this was poignant. Anyway, that's about it. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.